Okay, looking out at Indianapolis Motor Speedway there this morning at 6 o'clock on your Tuesday morning, listening to Post Malone, because he is one of the artists that we will hear from very soon here in town. Anybody a Post Malone fan? I'm looking at you, Julia.
I do like Post Malone. Yeah, we've got a couple of great acts that are coming in to Indianapolis downtown, of course, to give us all the excitement as we build to the Final Four here in the city.
And then we've got the big Final Four concert stage that has already been set. It's causing some detours around downtown Indianapolis, but I think it'll be a lot of fun this weekend, Matt.
Yeah, so Lindsay's going to be talking a lot about some of the closures that you're going to run into, but they started early because the weather has been nice enough. Yeah. You know, do it now rather than wait till some rain comes in later this week. So
we do have that later today, don't we?
We do. But most of the day, I think we'll be okay. It's after 6 o'clock or so, we'll start getting some more of those rain and storms. So that means all the way till 6 this afternoon, 12 hours from now, you've got a nice day. Enjoy a really warm start this morning with temperatures in the 60s. We have some nice south winds now. It's going to get breezy. If you thought it was windy yesterday, add maybe 10 miles per hour to that later this afternoon. We could have some gusts up to about 40 to 45 miles per hour across central Indiana. We've got a gust about 22 right now, which is nothing compared to where we'll go. We'll get a little bit windier as the day goes on. You can see some of the flashing lights where they've got Meridian Street closed, by the way. So Lindsay's going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a bit. 60s, though, out there this morning from Monticello to Lafayette. Good morning in Frankfort at 63. Kokomo, the Wildcats are sitting at 64 and 64 in Tipton. 63, not bad in Muncie and in Newcastle. 61 in Richmond. Upper 50s, a little cooler right now in McCoursville. We're kind of the outlier. 67 in Brownsburg and 65. Good morning in Greenwood, and more 60s farther to the south from Bloomington to Bedford. Seymour, the Owls, we're sitting at 64 degrees. A nice day is expected. Yeah, it will be mostly cloudy, but we're still warm thanks to the southerly winds. It's later this evening when some thunderstorm chances will be on the way as our storm zone starts coming in from the north. Much of the day is dry. Now, we're going to leave a small 10% chance for a shower until 6, and then after 6, that's, Lindsay, when we'll start getting those scattered storms. But at least the weather's quiet this morning. But how's traffic looking?
Yeah, a little busier right now. As expected, we are now in the 6 o'clock hour. We are into that peak morning rush hour, and this is where we start to get some issues here at the South Split, especially if we have a stalled vehicle or one little thing is a hiccup. We see a lot of brake lights, and that is exactly what we are starting to see right now on 65 northbound, where Raymond Street merges on to 65 north, coming into the South Split. So it looks like NDOT zoomed this camera in, perhaps seeing if there is a bigger issue, making this backup even bigger right now compared to normal. So we're going to continue to monitor this coming into downtown right now, because that delay is already starting to build. We've already added 3 minutes onto our drive from I-465 to the South Split on 65 North.
Well, it's about to be the busiest time in Speedway for the month of May.
And as the town is getting ready to welcome in all the race fans, they are once again faced by that unfinished Wilshaw Hotel. Anna Chalker is live in Speedway this morning with the plans that the town council now wants to take over this site completely. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. When you're in this roundabout of 16th on the Main Street here in Speedway, you've got the pretty lights of IMS welcoming you in, but just take a slight turn over to the dark side of the Wilshaw Hotel that you can't miss it any here. And it's been sitting here vacant since 2019, no developments in it. And now that the town is going to have the green light to begin appraising this property here, the Speedway Redevelopment Commission says this actually should be done in about 6 weeks. That's the beginning of May, around Grand Prix weekend. And this comes after 2 separate developers struggled to secure funding for the property over these years. Town funds will actually cover the costs of the appraisal, and if there is no agreement with the current owners by June, it could begin the eminent domain process. Members of the town council voted unanimously on this.
I feel the frustration that the community has with the project and it taking so long. And again, we feel like this is the best step to get the project re-engaged.
And that re-engagement does not mean that the Wilshaw has to end up being a hotel in the future. The town council says they really just want this property to be a completed, occupied development here within the next few weeks into the year, when they're going to be looking more into this project here. Now, residents, you'll hear anything about the Wilshaw Hotel if you talk to them about it, and they say they're excited that this vote has come through, but there's still a little bit of holding out on hope for this. So coming up, you're going to hear from residents that were at this town council meeting and why they're saying they just want to actually see this come into fruition before they can start believing what the future is going to be here.
All right, yeah, it's been long enough. They definitely need some answers there in the Speedway. Anna, thank you.
Well, there's tomorrow open dialogue about a major construction project on the west side now.
DPW is planning to close the 16th Street Bridge over the White River for 2 years, so pretty lengthy project here. The agency says really the full closure is needed for utility work to happen on the bridge deck. Well, people who live and obviously own companies and work in that area are hoping that they can find a way to tweak the plan to avoid that full closure.
So that meeting is tomorrow night at Friendship Baptist Church near 16th Street and Tibbs Avenue. It's at 6:30 if you want to weigh in. Well, coming up at 6:06 this morning, drugs, money, and gambling are all potential motives in a Westfield homicide investigation.
Right now, 50-year-old Ronald Brown Jr. is in jail connected to this homicide, and police say they believe the victim owed Brown thousands of dollars. Marina Silva is in studio with the latest on the investigation.
Well, good morning, ladies. The details in the court documents case give us a better idea of why police believe Brown killed James Lushin. Investigators believe this was premeditated. Now, the court documents list both Lushin and Brown as potential business partners, with drugs and poker games at the center of their dealings. Now, those documents also say Lushin was a big-time poker player, traveling to Amsterdam and Spain to play in tournaments. Now, according to the probable cause affidavit, Westfield police showed up to Lushin's home for a welfare check earlier this month. They found Lushin dead on the kitchen floor with multiple gunshot wounds and shell casings near his body. And inside, detectives found around 10 pounds of marijuana and more than $15,000 in cash. Documents also say detectives were told by someone who knew the two men that Lushin supplied marijuana to Brown, and Brown owed Lushin money. For weeks, Westfield police searched for a suspect, and 2 weeks later, they arrested Ronald Brown Jr., and he made his first court appearance yesterday.
This is a difficult moment for our community, but our message is clear. If you commit a crime like this in Westfield, we will use all available resources to ensure you are held accountable.
65 years.
Brown remains in the Hamilton County Jail without bond. The affidavit said the two would play poker together, and investigators noted Cash App transactions from hundreds to sometimes thousands of dollars sent between the two. Now, police are still combing through the motives, and there's a lot of details in the case. So coming up at 6:30, I'll talk a little bit about the evidence that police found leading up to the homicide.
Okay, thank you, Marina. Just a few hours, a jury in Jennings County will hear opening statements in the trial of a teen charged with raping a younger boy multiple times on a special needs school bus. Landon Doty was 15 years old at the time of the alleged sexual assaults. They happened between February and April of last year on a bus like the one you see here on your screen, not this actual bus. A review of 300 hours of school bus surveillance video actually led to those charges. Rich Nye has been following this disturbing case for almost a year now and will be in the courtroom when that trial starts to share updates. A proposed Immigration and Customs Enforcement office could be coming to the city of Carmel.
But a spokesperson in the neighborhood says there are many questions and concerns that they want answered before things move forward. Last night, several Hamilton County residents gathered for a town hall. The first mention of an office started last month when city officials said that it would be located at 301 Pennsylvania Street.
City leaders have made it clear that the office would be for administrative purposes and not a detention center.
This does not convey the right message for our country. Their simple presence and their violent course of action teaches the public to be afraid of all law enforcement instead of their protectors.
I want to be very clear, this is not an extreme position. This is a principled one. This is not about being anti-law. This is about being pro-Constitution, pro-accountability, pro-community.
Now, although city officials shared an address with us, 13 News did reach out to the Department of Homeland Security for more details on when the office can open and where it might be. But then a spokesperson told us that ICE doesn't typically confirm their office locations out of concerns for safety.